Welcome to our midweek service and our Bible study moments. This is the day that the Lord has made. Rejoice, and I'm glad in it. I want to believe that God has been gracious to you and He's kept you strong. This being our very beginnings of our second month. I don't know whether you are like me, but already 1 month is over. And I realize how fast this year is flying. By the grace of God, the year is flying. And just the other day, we celebrated the new year. And behold, within these few days, already we are in the second month of the new year. And that mathematically leaves us with 10 months for a year to end. Surprising. It means there's something that God is saying over here within this time. And I want to encourage each one of you that be in the habit of flowing and looking up to God. We may not be perfect in always hearing His voice, but He is always speaking to us. My prayer is as we share this word, you'll not see me as a person, but you'll see me as a vessel that God is using for such a time, so that every moment we share, you may receive your portion in running with that word, because some of the things that I will speak may not necessarily be things that you will find them anywhere again. There are things that are revealed by the Spirit of Jesus Christ of the moment and the season that we are in, for the sake of His kingdom and for our good. And so welcome to our walk through the book of Matthew, particularly on this journey of the subject matter, our walk through the Gospels. We had begun in Matthew 10. We went on ahead, and today we are just picking up from where we left last week, where we went up to verse 22, where Jesus, in a nutshell, was preparing His disciples for persecution. And He had actually expressed Himself by telling them that I'm sending you, but indeed be careful that as you go, yes, there will be people who will reject you, there will be rulers who will fight you, and there will be all sorts of people who will respond negatively, but He warned and encouraged them at the same time, telling them not to be worried, for indeed He will be with them. We saw last time that indeed we have experienced quite a number of people persecution. In fact, as we talk at the moment, there are churches and there are brothers and sisters. Welcome for those who have joined us on Google Meet. I appreciate you for the moments. I want to believe that you are getting me clearly, and may God richly bless you. And so as we talk now, there are brothers and sisters who are going through real tough times because they are facing persecution, and actually the rulers are after their necks. The rulers, the kings of the earth, the presidents and the leaders of the world, the political leaders are after them. In Afghanistan, it is well known that it is one of the quick and most dangerous place for a believer to be, because the government of the day, the Talibans, they are hunting after the believers, and they are literally hunting after them. Now, you wonder, why should a whole leader and a political leader hunt after a believer who has no problem with him, who is even rescuing their people by even providing humanitarian help to the nation? And you wonder, the same Christians who are being hunted are the same Christians who are feeding them. But regardless of their goodness, still we are finding these weird governments of the world who are turning against the so-called children of God, believers, and so they are hunting after them and literally killing them in cold bloodshed. And that indicates to you that the words of which Jesus talked to his people and to these disciples are really being actualized. Where he warned them, from verse 21, he says, a brother will betray his brother to death, a father will betray his own child, and children will rebel against their parents and cause them to be killed. I still remember, even in the ICC, the Islamic State, I remember they even used child soldiers to even kill their own parents in the name of religion. In the name of religion. I remember children who were killed by the ICC believers who were killed in Syria, in Iraq, and there are those even who are being hunted down in Iran, Yemen, Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East, in China. They are being prosecuted, they are being arrested, and they are being locked in with no apparent reason, but the reason being they are Christians. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in hard times. We are living in hard times. And we even will continue experiencing more hardships as we draw towards the coming of the Lord. There will be more trouble befalling the Christians and befalling the world. But Jesus encouraged us and said, be of good cheer in Luke, not in Luke, but in John chapter 16, verse 33, where he said, be of good cheer, I have overcome the world. In this world you will have tribulations, he warned us. But be of good cheer, I have, he said, overcome the world. And therefore I want to encourage you. You might be watching me, and you might be going through stuff. You might be going through pain. You might be going through some persecution of a kind. You might be facing trial. You might be facing great tribulations and hardships. We are focusing ahead that we will have the great tribulation. But indeed, besides the great tribulation that is ahead of us, we also have our own personal tribulations that we are facing at such a time. I want to encourage you by the grace of God that it might be that you are tuning in and you are going through real tough times, great kind of tribulations and hardships that you have no indeed explanations about. I want to encourage you. God and Christ Jesus, who promised us, He's not left us. He is with you. As you go through the waters of this life, He promised that He is with you. As you went through the fires of this present time, He promised to be with you. Do not give up. Be encouraged. He is on your side. In Mathew chapter 10, we saw that betrayal. But everyone who endures, verse 22, he says, and all nations will hate you. He says, all nations will hate you. Has it happened? Yes. Indeed, we are finding even Christians, the believers, even in the nations that are so-called Christian nations, including the Americas, including Europe, it is becoming hostile to genuine believers. Nations that we thought could defend the Christian faith, nations that we thought they were bathed in the Christian values, they are turning against the very Christians that even in the fact of being a Christian in America, it is even proving to be more harder and harder, even more worse than in some of the Muslim nations. It is very, very weird that you cannot even express your tenets of faith and live even to propagate our Christian faith simply because of the government's policies. It is very, very weird to even experience the same isolations and hatred from the nation that was founded on the Christian values, where the fathers of that nation proclaimed openly and declare to the nation even that in God we trust. It is very surprising that even which is anti the culture of the moment. It is very weird indeed. Now, I want to just let you know that it is fulfilling this verse 22 of Matthew,